Hey, this is Dawn. Dawn Kryptonium with the fellow companion, Meow, right here, just behind, holding my back. Today we're going to discuss the app chains. Is the app chain thesis dead? Were we lied? Was the dream that was promised not real? Smash the like button if you want to learn that. Really, do like this video to support Don Kryptonium because I'm only one bringing to you now wise discussions. I could come to you and be like others and just say, hey, alpha technology, potential alpha technology, but this is not what we do. We do spread love on this channel. This is why, once again, if you haven't this video. Of course, I must say I cover everything in Cosmos, but it's becoming ridiculous because only Stargaze is paying me. So whole Cosmos ecosystem right now is fully subsidized by the Stargaze team. So what I was thinking recently, we had this 2 years ago, we believed in the app chain thesis while many outsiders of the Cosmos ecosystem were saying that this doesn't really make sense, and we were laughing at them because we were like, this make obvious sense because a lot of new chains that were popping out, the market cap of them were in hundreds millions of dollars. So it was like, yeah, everything should be app chain. We need 1,000 app chains, but think bigger, okay? Think bigger. Remember the Peng was saying million chains, million app chains, right? But like when you think about this, what app chains would you create? We heard every village in this world require it doesn't. Now we know it doesn't. Like NFTs are more suited for the communities. And even though the DAOs are not essentially perfect because you can make collectives without the tokens, right? And as I'm looking at the mean scan, I want to ask the question: is app chain thesis dead? Okay. Because I have some issues with the app chains. I start seeing that we don't need that many app chains, and I also maybe sometimes question myself this interchain security that is coming. Many projects that come to use interchain security could be actually just the application, not the chain, and the cost would be drawn much smaller, and the costs are very important, right? So look, we have a lot of chains. A lot of these chains are unsustainable because the market cap is really small. A lot of these products could be essentially the application. If you have a DEX, the DEX sometimes can be the application. It's cheaper. I do think Osmosis is okay. It's a large liquidity right now. So maybe for the whole Cosmos ecosystem, it's okay to have one app chain that is neutral towards all. But for the rest, it doesn't make sense to have maybe multiple ones, right? I would rather focus that there will be multiple ecosystems of blockchains. It could be well fragmented, but to not get confusing, okay? Let's figure out stuff. So just a random example, I can feel of Comdex or Desmos or some others, some of this even Beatsong, right? So we have Beatsong, which apparently is blockchain for the music, whatever. If I'm getting this wrong, maybe there is some possibilities that are on the blockchain that the blockchain can do, but the others not. So example, let's go to Comdex. Comdex market cap is below $4 million. Of course, you could say potential of Comdex is in trillions of dollars. Think bigger. Don Kryptonium. Unlimited potential. But let's say, okay, Comdex have validators. How many validators there is? There is 85 validators, okay?
if you go like the average validator, if you say they pay $100 a month, of course this is rough, that would be $8,500 in a year. That's $100,000. That's $100,000 of cost to run the network that is worth $4 million. That's not very sustainable. That's 2.5% of whole market cap cost the running the network. So my question is, can Comdex release the variety of products, as the applications? That's what I want to know. Is it wise to really push this app chain and sometimes thinking, hey, maybe we should start as the application. If we scale to hundreds of millions of dollars, we go back to being a blockchain, because I'm quite afraid that many of those independent chain might actually reverse and become the application. And I think it should be different. Did Cosmos went too far, and maybe many of these blockchains should start as the application, right? Because I do think maybe the problem is there was no layer ones, right? So we kind of in Cosmos got it all upside down. So that's one example. Asset Mantle, even smaller. Just over $1 million, right? 70 validators. How much is the average cost of node here, right? Desmos 1.6. Over 100 validators. And, validators are willingly doing that. But what I'm saying, the systems that are as inefficient as this one cannot work. The different example is Nomic, right? Because Nomic has require very light nodes. So I think there are chains that could be very simplistic, like the Nomic blockchain, that could work as the app chain. And we will discuss which project should be actually blockchain, right? Because I think there is space for the app chains. But giving you an example, like, BitSong, $1.5 million, no liquidity whatsoever. Does it has to be its own blockchain? Right? I'm not so convinced. It was farmed to zero. Because we were in this thesis of the blockchain. Like, again, Mars protocol. I don't know if Mars protocol needs to be a blockchain, and it's like a much higher value at $7 million. But I don't know if it has to be a blockchain, because I think the most popular is the Outpost on Osmosis, is it? Like, does it has to be? So it doesn't mean I'm bearish, and it doesn't mean I don't think there should be a blockchains, right? Because I give you an example of my recent friendship, Kujira, that are valued at close to $100 million, right? They doesn't generate much of the revenues, but it seems maybe better positioned to this because they are themselves building the variety of products, right? So there is the liquidation beats, there is the order book. I can't bring myself now to say it, but there's few different protocols they do. They have like 6 different products, and they keep expanding, and they have also ecosystem that they keep integrating. So they kind of like building thesis around that. But for like some of the basic products, it doesn't really make sense. The other one, Akash. This, like, I feel there is the need for Akash blockchain maybe here, right? So when it comes to the breach, like Nomic, because it's secured, because it will be the breach where the Bitcoin is locked, and it seems the securing this with validators might be more secure option, unless the value of the chain tanks to absolute nothing. Then it's become dangerous, right? And especially if the token is too liquid, that also brings the dangers, right? But I think there is space. So Stride, it maybe makes sense for this type of Neutron, which is the layer 1, right? So there will be maybe few layer 1s like this. And I feel the Neutron also, like, correct me if I'm wrong, so I said Kujira built their own products, right? That and simply they're like the best. Also, like another they stable coin. So I missed one. So there is another one. They want to have their own stable coin for their own ecosystem. Neutron will try to build their own ecosystem of products here, right? So it does make sense. But if you have 100 blockchains, one, you need to find the ways and adjust it in the wallet because it destroy all user experience and other things, of course. And there is simply no need. And I think, like, region network, it's actually one of the OGs, right? The region, like, nearly $10 million market cap, heavy funding. The cash burnout is millions of dollars every year, which comes from the grants here. But does region require to be its own network? So region cares, and it also is more sustainable and greener if its application, the usage of energy, is less. So what I'm saying, when you take your phone, not every phone has to have, not every application in your phone has to have its own operating system. And I'm not saying it has to get dominated by iOS or Windows, but it doesn't have to be fragmented to thousands of operating systems, okay? Because it makes it unusable for the people. And I would be curious if we will see the blockchains that go back to the app chain, because it actually makes sense to be the app chain, than whether to use another token, because it makes sense to use tokens that are larger and more liquid than tokens that are non-liquid and have small market cap, right? So even I started questioning, we have this new blockchain that is for stablecoin issuance, Noble. And it was created apparently because USDC didn't really want to deploy, well, they couldn't deploy on the hub, and on some others they didn't want, so they built the new separate chains just for stablecoin issuance. But it seems quite likely that the only stablecoin there will be USDC. I saw the articles that will be even Japanese stablecoins, but we know that only stablecoin that matters in crypto is USDC, pegged stablecoin. Usually the other local currencies are just like failed experiments. That's my take. Okay, don't get me, because I know what you might think. Millions of Japanese users using Japanese yen. Oh. But you see, imagine the Kujira growth to the large ecosystem, right? If, I'm not saying it will, if, okay? I can say other. Imagine Neutron, not region. Imagine Neutron grow to the large ecosystem. It will be really not ideal user experience to... I know it's all IBC, just the user experience still wouldn't be as good as USDC or other issuers of stablecoin issuing the coin directly on the chain, Maybe I'm wrong. With that, I do hope this video made a little bit of sense for you, and with that, Don Cryptoniums out. I just started thinking, damn, I'm really only one last here discussing these things. No one gives a shit about anything. It's all going to zero, and I'm still here talking. With that, Don Cryptoniums out. Till the next time.